Go. There we go. All right. Had to run and go grab something. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Somebody fell asleep during it. That's Clyde Ryder, right? Yeah, Clyde Ryder right there. Fell asleep. I don't blame you one bit. It's late. You know, we got to take that into account. Let me turn my brightness on my phone up so I can see. Okay, let's get into some chats here. We'll go into some recapping, but welcome in. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Can't believe Jeff Gordon wins. You bet. Well, Hendrick's fourth win in the season. Yep. I'm from Australia. Who won? William Byron got the win. Race win will be up on the website tomorrow. I'll have the link up so we can get. It'll be available in Elite and in, I believe, 164th, but I gotta double check. But for sure, the Elite link will be up tomorrow morning. AJ Gaming says that sucked for Elliott fans. No, it sucked for all fans except for Byron fans. Byron fans probably enjoyed it, but everybody else, that was not a fun race. That reminds me a lot of the 2019 race where they tried the really big spoiler and it just was awful. No one could pass anyone at all, and so yeah, I'm glad that. So glad that we're looking at more short tracks. I'm just kidding. I like short track racing. I just think this was a bad combination. Trevor Broyle says, almost wish Chase Elliott loses a wheel so Alan Gustafson would be off the box for 4 races. Maybe then Chase won't get screwed over by another one of his Chiefs calls. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say maybe, but I don't know that he really had the best car all night, frankly. They didn't keep up with the track for sure. But it was so hard to pass that I don't think it matters who it was. I mean, you know, it didn't seem to matter who it was. You know, Kyle Busch got new tires at the end, and you could pass 2 or 3 guys, and then you got stuck. And it was just like, there's something wrong with this car where it has too much corner speed, and when you get up behind the car in front of you, you can't hold the grip as well, and so you just can't pass anyone. So I hope it's only an issue here. I hope that's not an issue at, say, Bristol, where we got a higher bank, but, I mean, it's dirt next week anyway. But I really do hope it's not as bad at Bristol this fall. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think it's something to do with the low horsepower, high corner speed. I mean, it's a bad combination. It always has been. High corner speeds with low horsepower leads to terrible racing. So up the horsepower, lower the corner speed with having maybe some skinnier tires. They said that the short track tires they were putting on these cars were wider. And so maybe it's time to narrow them up. Put a narrow tire on it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work, but, you know, I just think that it's something that we got to... something needs to be done. That's not good. Jason Ayler, good morning. All yes, good morning. Because it'll be almost midnight and F1 will be on soon, so we're definitely going to stick around and watch that. Going to bed. Well, have a good one, Chase's champ. Unfortunately, not a good night for you guys, but hey, us Chase fans, we got 3 weeks before we get back to a normal track. So dirt is a crapshoot. Talladega is a crapshoot. We'll get a real race back here soon. I think he might still be the point leader though, so that's something. Surge is Bad says, can we get some claps for the 9-team pit crew? Yeah, no. I mean, they only lost 2 spots on pit road all night. I mean, that's not great, but he came in with the lead. He couldn't even gain spots the first 2 times, so it's like, 2 spots isn't the worst thing in the world. It's frustrating, obviously, to lose the lead and then literally not be able to get it back at all for the rest of the night, so that's kind of unfortunate. All right, minus 0101 says, yeah, both Xfinity and Cup race at Martinsville stunk for me. One extreme to the other. It just comes down to a track that didn't offer much room to racing without banging bumpers. Only one real lane. Yeah, I mean, I would say the Xfinity race was fine, honestly. I just think the problem with the Xfinity race is you can't have stages. It really screws with the way that the races kind of get put together. You end up with really odd tire strategies, and yeah, you think it would make for more passing, but it almost, I don't know, it almost like gets cars out of shape early in a run, and then they just kind of sit there. So but the Xfinity race is fine. I don't have any issues with Xfinity. I do think that the Cup race was an absolute snoozer. Something's got to change there. MRM or Mr. Mobody says, well, that was a race. That is all you have to say. I don't disagree. It was a race, and it was not a good one. Man, it's disappointing. It really does remind me of 2019 when guys were having aero push at Martinsville, and that was when everybody was screaming about how bad the 550 high downforce package was, because it was like, I'm sorry, you're aero pushing at Martinsville, the slowest corners on the schedule? So, yeah. Jason Haywood says, let's talk about the Toyotas today. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know if it was really the Toyotas. At the end of the day, I think a lot of it just came down to track position. They didn't qualify well, and Denny was bad, and Kyle and Truex had a few struggles. Christopher Bell made a mistake, but Kyle Busch got 7th. I just think the problem is this whatever's up with this car is bad for Martinsville. They cannot pass at all. I mean, even when you literally, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Logano shipped Austin Dillon into turn 3 and 4 during that long green flag run. I mean, shipped him down in there. But because of the way the car hooks up in the rear, he was able to get going and still hold the spot. And it was like, you can't even bump and run, guys, to get the position. The cars are way too stable. They got that wider tire base. They got wider tires. They're so stable. You literally have to all but just mash through the back of someone to get them out of shape. Otherwise, you're not going to pass anyone. And so, man, they got to figure out something. If they're going to be that stable, you got to have a really hard tire or a really soft tire that wears out, because, man, what we had tonight was just bad. Clyde Ryder says, I'm a Stewart Haas Racing fan, and I'm sad I'm going to go to bed having night terrors. At least they've got a win tonight, or this year, with Briscoe. I think they'll have a few wins. I don't think it'll be Custer. Unfortunately, he made a mistake today too, but I do think that Harvick will get one this year. All right. Southeast Cup Series says, I would talk about this race, but I'm going to fall asleep. Yep. I'm already out of things to say. Let's talk about yesterday. We're going to have to go back that way. Nah, we'll wait a little bit. AJ Gaming says, my other friend blew up my rink. Blew up my rink, and and all I needed was an outside building and roof. I know you're talking about Minecraft, so I know exactly what you're referring to there. Let's see. Where's my NASCAR app? There it is. Okay, let's keep going here. Not a snoozer when your driver wins. I understand, man, but man, it's a snoozer when you're just watching anything. Like when you're, watching for something to happen. And I mean, this had to be one of the races with the fewest amount of green flag passes after the restart. Like there was a green flag pit stop cycle, but I mean, once they got strung out, I mean, here's where I knew we were in trouble. When Chase Elliott was leading and he caught, I think it was 26th place running Suarez or someone like that, and he got stuck behind him. Like they couldn't pass the 26th place car, and that tells me, okay, we got a problem because this car, when it gets up behind another car that's decently paced, not even, because the car was going a lap down, which means it is not on equal pace, but when it's even similar, the car just gets stuck there and you can't do anything. And this, I mean, as I said, the 550 package from a couple years back was the same way. You got up to a certain point, and then once you tried to lap that next car, you couldn't. You just couldn't. And yeah, this car unfortunately looks about the same. So let's see. Who was the highest Toyota today? Kyle Busch, 7th. Jesse Holmes said, where did Larson finish? A big fan of his. He made a mistake early on in the race, and so I know he lost a lap early. I think he ended up finishing 19th. And I think, Reddick must have had an issue late in the race, and he finished 18th. That's unfortunate. He had a good race going. He was going to be a top 10 car, and then must have got knocked out back to 20th. That's unfortunate. Kurt Busch. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Kurt Busch. I keep forgetting he's a Toyota this year. Yeah, Kurt Busch finished 6th, and he finished 7th. So, Mark Bancroft says it's a snoozer because the rubber wasn't on the track as much as I thought it would. Yeah, I mean, it was cold, so it was really cold, which reminds me a lot of Kansas 2020, where it's really cold, one-lane track, you really can't do anything with the car in front of you. But that being said, the giant solve everything, way to do it, and it has always been this way, more horsepower. I think people don't realize the reason we might not be liking our short tracks this year is they have 100 less horsepower this year. People don't seem to realize this is not the same horsepower package from last year. It's 100 less horsepower from last year. So they need a little more horsepower. That's the biggest thing. I noticed when they were shifting and going, down the straightaways, it was like they didn't really have a lot of wheel spin coming out of the corners, but they only had 600 horsepower. Like, they need to have like 800. So they definitely need to get more power under the hood of these cars too, especially just at short tracks maybe. But man, they need that. Southeast Cup Series says that finish was hype just for Logano to choke. I'm good with it. I don't want to see a guy just get wrecked for a win after he had dominated the race. I mean, I don't know. This race can just go on the snooze bucket. Like I said, there was a Keselowski race a couple years ago the same way, just junk, not fun to watch. Mark Bancroft says, I'm a Chase Elliott fan, and it pissed me off that Byron shouldn't have won. Yeah, I mean, what's annoying is not because Byron won, because Byron ran the better race. He had, honestly, the better car all night. You could tell because he ran Chase down. But it's frustrating for them to lose a battle on pit road. They lose the lead. They fall back. And at the end of the day, I think the most frustrating part is the fact that they can't seem to make the right calls to stay in these races. They always seem to make dumb pit calls and make mistakes, and I don't know. It's this Martinsville package is going to be a problem, though. I mean, they're definitely going to need to do some fixing here, because that Martinsville package, just the short track package right now, there's not enough horsepower and there's way too much corner speed. And I mean, at that point, you're going to be close to Bristol being a very, very easy track for these guys to drive on. And I don't want that. I really don't want to see a one-lane Bristol where it's like, if you try to make a pass, you will never get by the guy in front of you, even if he's 31st place. Like, nah, I'm not a fan of that. All right, so Clyde Ryder says, I kind of think this is Byron's year. I don't. I mean, he's fast. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Byron's quite there yet. At the end of the day, he did what he had to do to win this race for sure. But I need to see him put a couple clutch performances together in some other races before I'm going to go there. Carlito Newt says, I was bummed about Moffitt on the first few laps of Xfinity. Yeah, same boat with me. Bummed out. He had a good car in practice. I thought he was going to have a great race. Everyone who says this was boring would be dead back in the 60s and 70s. No, they wouldn't, Jeff. The reason it's boring is because guys couldn't pass. It's not about who wins and how much they win by. It's about literally a faster car not being able to get around a slower car. And that's the problem. I have no problem with large gaps in between cars and tire fall off and things like that. But what I can't stand is when two cars get within a tenth of a second of each other, they stall out. They have no ability to pass the car in front of them when they are clearly faster. That's the problem. So there's a big difference between having cars super far apart, because honestly the cars weren't super far apart, but the cars they were all about half a second apart, and they couldn't seem to get any closer. I mean, you look at these guys, it was like it took them over half the race to move up 6 spots at Martinsville. Martinsville, it took them almost half the race to move up only a handful of spots. And some of those guys were just gaining spots by mistakes or restarts. But once the green flag run started, it took like 80 laps before anyone could really start to fall off and make passes. And that's the biggest problem. AM57's very happy, but he agrees it is a snoozer. So I think he's a Byron fan, if I remember right, as is Plastic Fork 24. Both of them are Byron fans, but I think if we're looking at it objectively, we can all say it was a pretty big snoozer. So that being said, Race Win Diecast still look good. That Raptor car looks cool. NASCAR Fan 04 says, I was surprised by the lack of cautions. I mean, yes and no. I get it, but you got to remember, these cars have so much corner speed, and the cars are so stable. It really is the same problem we had on the 1.5 miles last year with that high downforce package or the 550. The cars are too stable. And at Martinsville, guys were getting jacked up and turned and kind of moved around going into corner all night. But nobody lost control because the cars are too stable. And that's the biggest problem in any racing. Once the car is too stable, it doesn't put on a good race. You need unstable race cars to make the racing good. And it wasn't good tonight. It really wasn't. And, that's okay. Maybe they'll figure something out. Maybe they'll come back with a different tire compound, something. Maybe they'll even run the skinnier tires like they probably should. Maybe they'll run skinnier tires. Maybe they just need something to make these cars a little bit more on edge. It's a different story on a road course because stability on a road course almost helps because it allows them to make more daring maneuvers. But even that being said, you look at like how hard Alex Bowman got hit by AJ Allmendinger and he didn't spin out at COTA. Like these cars have a lot of stability in certain low speed cornering. But that being said, they have really lower stability at high cornering. So, there's goods and bads to it. Let's see here. Minus 10101 says Byron's car was good enough that Logano couldn't really get to the back bumper. Well, he did a good job. He sailed it down in there deep enough that Logano couldn't hit him. And it really screwed up his exit because if you look at how much Austin Dillon gained on both of them, you can see a major shift, but it's coming to the checkered, so it didn't matter. So it was actually a really smart play on Byron's part to sail it in. Clyde Ryder says, yeah, I want Harvick to get a win and bounce back. I'm not a huge Harvick fan, but I do want to see him get a win. I don't want Bristol to be his final win of his career. All right. Minus 0101 says, but no one got turned with the next generation, unlike Xfinity where everyone was getting turned. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but see, that's part of it. Like, part of Martinsville is a guy makes a mistake and it turns the guy in front of him. That doesn't mean it's the best part of the racing, but it is part of Martinsville, and it didn't happen tonight. I mean, nobody, it happened plenty of times where a guy overcooked it and hit the guy in front of him, but they didn't lose control. The car was so stable, and that's what I was talking about with that stability. It's got to be less. Nicholas Gray says they need more practice time here. I mean, maybe. I just think they have a bad combination of low horsepower and high stability. Sadler Rebel says, what do you think about MotoGP motorcycle racing? I have hardly ever watched it. I don't know. Motorcycles just never really piqued my interest. Motocross a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. Just something about the way that they handle has never been overly, overly appealing. Southeast Cup Series said, oh wait, hold on. There we go. Minus 0101 says, yeah, the pit crew penalty for Bell. Pit crew over the wall too soon was a backbreaker. Yeah, pretty much ended his night, unfortunately. Southeast Cup Series says, I just wish a driver I like can dominate, but it never works when the Hendrick cars spoil the party. Yeah, I don't want to see. I mean, dominant races are part of it. I loved when Truex dominated the Coke 600 and won by a country mile and led almost every lap. Like, some of those things are great. But the biggest thing about that race that was cool was he was the class of the field. Everywhere else throughout the field, there was still plenty of passing. There was still plenty of that to go around. But at the end of the day, it was nice to have a car that was dominant, yet the racing throughout the rest of the field wasn't trash. The problem with today was the racing throughout the whole pack was garbage. I mean, there was multiple times I'm watching the ticker and no position would change hand in the top 20 for like 30 straight laps. Everyone was just stuck behind each other. And, that's terrible for short tracks, man. Terrible. Jason Aylard says Kurt Busch was the best Toyota in 6th. Yes, I think we covered that earlier. Let's see here. Brandon Greenwood says the race was fine, I guess. The track was cold and the rubber wasn't really being laid down. I think that was a problem, not the car's problem. I disagree. I do think I will say that is part of it for sure. But I think we have to look at the stability and the low horsepower. I mean, there were multiple camera shots of guys getting really jacked up by the car behind them, and they didn't even get loose. They didn't even wiggle. They just kept rolling ahead like, and I don't want cars to get crashed, but at the end of the day, we have to have a little we got to have these cars on edge a little bit, or you can't have, good side by side racing where guys can make moves and get past each other. Um, so yeah, there's elements that can be improved, but yeah, for sure the heat and no rubber getting laid out definitely didn't help the problem. Nicholas Gray says, "Can't wait for DW at Bristol. I hope he does. He just comes back and does what he normally does. I don't want him to I don't want Fox to turn it into a clown show where he's just supposed to be cracking jokes all day. Because at the end of the day, he was always excited, but he wasn't a clown. And that's what Fox seems to try to do too often. So I hope that's not what happens." NASCAR Fan 04, I think that any car should be defined by talent and skill. Absolutely. And then the best way to do that is add a bunch of horsepower and take away as much stability as you can. That'll do it. That's all it takes. So hopefully it works, but we'll see. Am I going to get any NHRA diecast? Probably not, Sadler. I don't have a real. I don't follow the sport hardly enough to know. AJ Gaming said, "I tried to find your 2015 Cowboys Homestead win, but the only one I find was the video making the black autograph show." I haven't updated my playlist in a while, so I actually have a lot of work to do on my channel for that. I might not have done the review yet. It honestly could be one of those where I never got the review done on the ARC because I did the windshield and then I just never did it. So that's one of them things where once I start unpacking them from totes, I'll be able to check boxes and make sure I know I got them all reviewed. So unfortunately, you may have to stay tuned, AJ. So just make sure you have that bell on. Minus 0101 says, would have been fine if was a top lane, need 2 lanes for possible clean passes to be interesting. I mean, yeah, you can have a multi-lane track. You can even have a one-groove track with, more technical racing. But again, the problem was there was just way too many stable cars. Like I said, I saw so many bumper cams where guys were getting all sorts of jacked up and they didn't move. And that's not good. NASCAR Fan 04 says 2020 Elliott pit crew. We're unchallenged. 2022 Elliott pit crew. So what do we do? I don't know. I wouldn't be too hard on them tonight. Like I said, they only lost 2 spots. They really didn't have major hangups or issues. I think they didn't have the adjustments for the car, and frankly, it just was a bad race where once you lost your track position, you never got it back. AJ Gaming, I do know to have a video on the 2015 champion. Oh, yep, I do have that one, but I don't have the other one. Ethan Green, welcome in. Let's see, Snoozer. I think I have to disagree. The race was much more entertaining than Richmond. Boy, I don't know how that's. I'm sorry, you sir are just factually wrong on that. Richmond was a glorious gem. Don't get me wrong, there were elements of Richmond that got a little slow, but Richmond with the strategy and the I mean, if you watch the scoring monitor and watch lap times and see how the guys kind of move through the field, Richmond was a diamond. It was an absolutely stellar race. And this race, I mean, just watching the lap timers, it didn't matter. Guys literally could not pass each other all the way from top to bottom through the field. And that was, I think, more of the problem, is that they literally just couldn't pass anyone all the way down through the field. So this one absolutely was a snoozer for that reason. Like I said, I don't care if a guy dominates or wins by 10 seconds. That's not the problem. The question is throughout the field, let's go like 25th on up. If there's not good racing from 25th on up because the cars literally can't pass each other, it's not a good race, and it wasn't. So yeah, I would disagree with you there, but I can understand if you're not a fan of strategy racing, but I highly recommend being a fan of strategy racing because that's just what racing is sometimes. Sometimes you have strategies like that and it all comes together. That's why it's nice to watch the scoring monitor. That allows you to really watch and see who's coming through the field. Like I said tonight, and the biggest reason it was so frustrating is a guy would finally make a pass after 30 laps of working on a guy. And once he got past, he would gap the guy by 3 seconds in a matter of 10 laps. Like, he was clearly the better car, but he was just stuck behind him. And then you could see it all throughout the field. The guy would get stuck behind a lap car. Once he finally got the guy a lap down, the guy fell half a straightaway back in 5 laps. But it's like, for some reason, guys just could not pass each other. Oh, there we go. Ethan Green. I'm not sure why, but Richmond is just lackluster. It's just blah track. It has character, but for all the wrong reasons. It's just like, I mean, I would understand boring. It doesn't provide a lot of overly aggressive side by side racing. But that being said, it does have comers and goers. That's the big thing. Tire fall off at Richmond is huge. So that's where its benefit comes in. It really is not a good race for the first 20 laps. Like, frankly, Richmond is a race that would benefit from getting rid of stages. I want to see a 300 lap run at Richmond. And I know that sounds boring, but do you understand how many different tire strategies there could be? It could literally be a 3-stop strategy, a 5-stop strategy, a 4-stop strategy. Guys constantly passing in and out, up and down. I mean, it would be utter. Oh, it would warm my heart. That much strategy is so fun to watch. So I get what you're saying, though. It definitely doesn't provide great racing right after restarts and in the first 20 laps. But unfortunately, nothing really does. It takes laps for the car to come in and really, see who's got what and let cars start moving around. And that's why tire fall off's good. The more fall off you have, the more comers and goers you got. And tonight there really wasn't much. All right, here. Let's see. So Santiago Ortiz says, I only want to know why the DeWalt 2021 Elite car of Christopher Bell is not available anywhere. 2021 DeWalt. Did they not make it? I think they made the Stanley car. Give me 1 second, sir. I will find out for you because I don't remember. Did it sell out really fast? It could be because it's a really good looking race car, but I could just be wrong on that too. Well, that's right. I deleted Chrome. It was eating too much of my battery. Let's go here. 2021 Bell 124 DeWalt. Oh my word, that did not type right at all. No, I see it a couple places. It looks like they made at least the 124th ARC. And no, they did make the 164th as well. So I'm not sure why it's not available. Let me see if I can get one. I can get one on my site. So I don't know if you're not. I don't know where you're looking, but let me know if you're looking for an Elite or an ARC because I can. Or maybe it's the Elite's not available. I'll look one more time quick. You know what might have happened? I'll have to check. I'll have to look at some DNP reports. It might have been DNP'd. It also just might not have been released yet because I don't see the Elite as something that's been brought in yet. So I could be wrong there. So I'll have to do some looking. Anyway, let's go move on here. AJ Gaming says, I didn't know there was a fist fight yesterday until I woke up and looked on Instagram. Yeah, it was unnecessary. Ty Gibbs just being immature, I guess. But, it's still fun to talk about. The homie back says these upcoming 2 weeks are about to be elite. Nah. They're going to be chaotic, but I don't know if that's elite. I mean, honestly, if we're being honest with ourselves, the Bristol dirt race last year was not that great a race. It really wasn't. The Bristol night race was a better race than the Bristol dirt race. I mean, if we're being completely honest with ourselves, it was. So do with that what you may, but I definitely think everyone will tune in. It'll be great, but that being said, it's chaos, man. I just want to see some good racing. I don't like too much chaos. Like I've always said, I'm not a huge fan of green-white checkers and overtime because it just creates, instances where a leader gets dumped and has his whole race ruined because, we have to have a gimmick. Look at yesterday. We have a green-white checker and boom, Noah Gragson gets turned around. His race is over. He finishes 20th after just running well all day. And he gets a 20th place finish to show for it. Ty Gibbs gets knocked back to 8th, and Brandon Jones is the winner. Like, don't get me wrong, once in a while it's fun, but when it happens too often, it's not. Golly, that's not good. Man, I got some phlegm in there. Right. Parker says, let's go Willie B win. Yes. New and it's in the Raptor paint scheme too, so that'll look good. I can't wait to see that. He now has 4 wins in 4 different paint schemes. All right, AJ Gaming says, I bet 1 cent there will be a total of 21 DNFs these next 2 weeks. Oh, I hope not. Oregon Diecast says, do you think Byron's truck will be offered even though Bowman's Coda truck and Byron's standard weren't being offered? Possibly because of the win. Frankly, I'd be okay with a Martinsville sweep set. Even though it's not all 3 races, it's like, he won them both, so I'd be on board. I think it'd be kind of cool. But yeah, we'll know Monday, I guess. Byron Townsville says, I've been screaming for more horsepower, but now I'd settle for actual horse racing. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. It's like, I don't understand this idea that we only want 400 horsepower in race cars. They're race cars, for crying out loud. They're supposed to be as fast as they can. Like, why are we cutting horsepower? That's just stupid. I don't get that. I mean, 900 horsepower in the World of Outlaws, and it is glorious. So let's just stick with that. I don't know. Let's see here. Chase the Champ says DW plus Clinton equals chaos. As long as it's not a clown show, I'll be all right with it. I don't need a clown show. You know, it's just, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of the idea of just screaming and yelling and comedy in the booth. Like, just present the race like it's a legit racing series, because that's honestly better. All right, let's see here. What is my favorite car in my collection and why? So if you didn't mention it, oh wait, hold on, I got one more up ahead of it. Chase Jeff says Ty Gibbs, he's nothing but a little rich kid that has never had to work for in his life. Tony Stewart. Yeah, I would have to agree there. I mean, I'm sure he's put some work in for sure, but I mean, if we're honest, he destroyed his race car yesterday for just being stupid. So clearly he has no respect for the equipment. All right, now, Clyde Ryder says, what is my favorite car in my collection and why? I did show it yesterday, but here it is again. This is my favorite car in my collection, and why is because it is my favorite paint scheme from my favorite driver, and I got to see him win in person. Got it signed at Bristol. The signature looks really good on it, so that is my favorite car in my collection for that reason. It's just, it's literally like the perfect Grail car for me. Like I said, I love the Mountain Dew scheme. Boom, he went. I'm a huge fan of Mountain Dew. Check. Love the Mountain Dew scheme. Check. Wins in the playoffs. Check. Favorite driver. Check. Autograph. Check. Like, everything was just worked out great. So, I've got a lot of cars I really like too. Don't get me wrong. I've got the Homestead Chase Elliott dual autograph car that's worth a lot of money, but my personal favorite car is that one. All right, Parker says, now I got to go try and stay up and watch the F1 race. That's what I'm doing, man. I'm going to be streaming this for a little bit and then get a bowl of cereal, sit back and watch some F1 racing. So it's going to be fun. AJ has the bell on. Good. Oh man, how far off am I? I might have to get you moving here. Kyle Newt says, you getting the Kyle Busch Xfinity Win 164 set this year? Yes, I am. I will have that in, and I think I have at least a couple sets going on the website. I could be wrong. Got to look, but there will be a few of those that'll be available on the website when they come in, and I will have all the 124ths as well when they come through. So. -01 says, yep, I like Richmond a lot too. I'm glad that other people also see the beauty in strategy racing, because unfortunately there's a lot of people that just don't see it. They're like, I don't want a long run with green flag pit stops. I'm like, I love green flag pit stops. I love that strategy. And that's why F1 has been such a draw. The undercut and all these things they do to try and gain track position, because it's decently hard to pass, is incredibly fun to watch. And man, it's like, NASCAR has all the racing there. They just got to let the race play out naturally. Stop throwing these yellows. All right, Chase the Champ says, did I see NRF get roasted on Twitter? I feel bad for him. Yeah, I do too. Look, the guy had a really dumb take. I mean, it really was a bad take. But that being said, I think it got out of hand a little bit. Having the joke where it kind of got memed is fine, because it is fun. It was a fun to see the pictures of all these similar sponsored cars, like cars that ran the same sponsor in the race. Like, I thought that was fun. I really enjoyed seeing all these different cars from all these eras. So that was actually pretty fun that kind of came out of it. But there was a lot of really nasty, hateful things said about him. And it's like, the guy is just, made a bad take. That's fine. You can say that it was a dumb take without, going too nuts. But, it was still fun to see all those matching cars. Mark Banker says, race could Bristol dirt. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not sure. Race at Bristol could be garbage is what I think it is, because the next gen probably isn't built for dirt. Those cars would probably race normal instead of dirt racing and dirt car drifting. Actually, I'm on the opposite opinion. I think These cars have a potential to run really well at Bristol Dirt. And the main reason is because they're so stable, there's that word again, that I think you can actually see a guy pull a hard slide job going into a corner. And I'm hoping that they're good, but I don't know. I have hope. I'm hopeful, I guess, going in. But that being said, non-dirt cars on dirt generally haven't put on a great performance, so I'm a little iffy there too. Ethan Green says, I like strategy racing, but Richmond just absolutely grinded on me. Even with all the strategy, it just bored me out. I mean, at least with the Martinsville, you got the constant lap traffic that's better. I mean, you had. I still I can't agree with you there, man. Because, like I said, in stage one, Chase Elliott caught, I think it was Bubba, with like 40 to go in the stage and literally never was able to get past him. Like, just couldn't pass him. Because, not that Bubba was faster than him, but just that you couldn't pass the car in front of you. So they were still passing the really slow cars, but that's not really that entertaining to me. Like I said, Denny Hamlin, I don't think people realize this. Denny Hamlin got back on the lead lap with 30 laps to go. He passed William Byron with 30 to go to get back on the lead lap. And everyone saw that and was like, okay, he'll get a lead lap finish. Not even thinking that in 30 laps, he drove all the way around the track and passed William Byron. That's incredible. And, we really didn't see it coming because Fox didn't cover it. I did. I was watching the lap times. But, that's something that I think coverage would make that race better. I don't think the racing at Richmond is a problem. I think the coverage was the problem. But again, we can always disagree. I do think that the coverage at Richmond was not good because they did not show some of those elements. Minus 0101 says we'll probably see an actual dirt drivers wreck each other at Bristol. I mean, it happened last year in Logano won, but we got to, remember by the end of that dirt race last year, it was one groove track and it was not a fun race. So it's like, let's just, let it go there. Blinksfan 2002 says, this reminded me of the 2019 Martinsville race where they ran 550 horsepower. Absolutely. I literally equated it to that. It reminded me of that race so much. Nobody could pass. There were no changes for the lead. No. I'm going to say it again. No green flag. I'm going to get in trouble for that. I'm going to get memed. Green flag passes for the lead. None. 0 green flag passes for the lead tonight. 0. That's not always a sign of a bad race, but again, very, very 2019 like. Travis D4, why don't I like Kevin Harvick? I had just instances around him trying to get autographs on some things. I had a good experience, honestly, the first time getting his autograph. It was fine, but the second time I tried to get his autograph, it was just not great. And after that, I never decided, I just wouldn't try to get his autograph anymore. I just didn't want to bother with it. But, I'd still see how he kind of reacts with fans. I'm just not a fan of it. I think I like guys that are more good with fans. Kyle Busch is actually pretty good with fans, but only when it's non-race related. You're not going to get Kyle Busch autograph going to qualifying, going to practice, doing this. Coming out of the media center, it's fine. Honestly, Kyle's not bad. It's when you time it out. So I don't know. It's just personal experience, and I know I'm not the only one, but let's see here. So Thomas Hunt says, are you getting the Blaney Daytona win? 146? I'm guessing that's 64. But yeah, I'll have the metal chassis if it's being made. So, let's see here. I hope Bristol Dirt will be dominated by dirt drivers instead of them all being taken out. I hope it's just a good race. I want to see the cushion come in. I want to see there be 2 lanes. I want to see guys really be able to get after it, pull slide jobs. I just want to see guys really get after it. But that being said, NASCAR has this idea they're going to throw 40 cars on a dirt track and it's going to be no problem. And I can tell you from experience that is the stupidest thing on earth. NASCAR needs to cut the field to 25. I know it's going to leave somebody out of a big feature, but maybe make the heats more of a big deal. I don't know. It's just frustrating. I don't think NASCAR belongs on dirt, personally. I really don't. I think the trucks can make it work because there's only so many competitive trucks that you can get by with having a 20 truck feature, but you can't get by with this truck race or this cup racing on dirt. I just don't think it's not set for success, I guess. San Diego says, thanks, man. Appreciate your answer. Yeah, anytime, man. I still have that DeWalt car on RAS Diecast for pre-order, but that being said, I still got to double check to see if it's not been DNP'd because I have to look. I know there's a bunch that have, and I haven't got that notification. Will they make the truck and Xfinity 164s in metal? No, as of right now. I have not heard anything about those in metal yet. Oregon Dyka says, what is what race winning diecast from 2021 are you most excited to receive once they're all released? My personal most excited for. Oh man, that's tough. I got a few. I'll give you five. My top five. I'm a big Chase Elliott fan, so Chase Elliott Road America win. He blew the rear tires off it, and so I'm really excited for that car. AJ Allmendinger's Indy win. I'm really excited for that because I was at that race. Let's see. Yeah. Kyle Larson's Bristol win. I'm really excited for that. Again, same thing. I was at that race, and it's a good looking race car. AJ Allmendinger's Bristol win, same thing. I was at the race, and it was an epic race finish. I don't know how the diecast is going to turn out, but I'm really excited to see how it turns out. And the last one is probably going to be, I'm not sure what the last one will be. I mean, I'm excited to see Kyle Larson's Phoenix win. That's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it, but it's not at the top of my list. I would say, let's see. I'm pretty excited for the Denny Hamlin Darlington win. I think that's going to look really nice. So those would be my top five. I would say one of the favorites are going to be the ones I've seen in person, probably that Allmendinger Bristol. But let's see, Mark Bancroft. No, I mean, hey race, could Bristol Dirt be bad? Oh, gotcha. I see what you're saying. Yeah, Bristol Dirt could be bad, and I'm not expected. So Ethan Green says, "Well, I'm a Bubba fan, so I enjoyed him staying out there." Hey, no, I get it, man. But you know. I'm sure you'll understand the point of like if Bubba's leading and trying to put someone a lap down and he can't pass. I mean, at the end of the day, as a Bubba fan, I thought you'd be a little more upset because Bubba had a good car and couldn't pass anyone. At the end of the night, I think he ended up 16th, but he had a better car. But it's just you couldn't pass on this track. I think he had a top 10 car tonight, but you can't pass, and that was the problem. I think if here's the thing, Bubba wouldn't have been going a lap down if it wasn't so hard to pass. He would have moved up through the field and never been anywhere close to going a lap down. But the reason that wasn't the case is he got stuck behind someone and couldn't pass him. So, I think at the end of the night he ended up 16th, which is, about where he ran, unfortunately, but I think he had a better car than that. Anyway, but yeah, I agree. Well, sometimes you just won't see eye to eye, but I wanted Bubba to do well tonight. I think not being able to pass just hurts racing in general, and I think it hurt him too, so... AJ Gaming says, I hope Elliott wins Dega. I don't really care who wins Dega. I'm obviously going to have my rooting interest, but Gregson will race. I guess I'll be excited for that. But, man, it's just so chaotic. Like, come on. Why do we need chaos like that? Can we just not? Can we have, I'm so excited for Kansas. Dude, Kansas, I am jacked up. I think Kansas is going to be one of the best races all year. It's such a good track, and this car seems to really fit that type of track. So I'm really excited. I think Kansas is going to be great. Let's see. Here we go. Vincent Muro says, hopefully the progressive banking helps Bristol next week. Yeah, I think they just need to prep the track, get plenty of water on it, and unfortunately they need less cars because there's too many cars to run on that. Here we go. Parker says early silly season prediction. Ty Dillon is gone from the 42 at the end of the season. I don't know how you can't. Ty Dillon has not performed in anything he's been in. He was in that 54 car last year that, everybody won in, like literally everybody that hopped in that 54 car was winning races. And Ty Dillon couldn't even get a top 5 with it. Like, I'm sorry. It's time to call it quits and get somebody in there. And the part that annoys me is Ty Dillon's had all these opportunities, and Brett Moffitt hasn't had any of them. Like, come on. It's time to put the talent up there. All right, here we go. Kylito Newt says, I actually got to meet Kyle Busch on January 1st at the Tulsa Shootout, and he signed my 2018 Coke 600 diecast. Well, that's awesome. As I said, I've had good luck with Kyle, but Kyle's nice. He just, it's a timing thing. Like, people get mad when he doesn't sign autographs when he's like on his way to victory lane or something. It's like, dude, chill out. Like, he's kind of in the middle of something. But as I said, when you catch him at most other places, he's fine. You just have to, be respectful. He's really been pretty good. Finn says he needs a sweep set. I totally get it, man. We need a sweep set. Matthew M says, do I think Harvick will win again? I do think he will. He's been pretty competitive at different tracks. I think he's going to find a way to get a win. Rodney Childers is not going to settle for not winning races. I want to see the Larson, Charlotte, and Texas win in 164th. I think they're all going to be released and in metal. So I probably won't have the plastic chassis just because I don't generally carry 164s in plastic now that they make them in metal. I don't know. We'll see. If the demand is there, I'll start to carry them. The biggest thing right now for me is working full time makes it hard to have a lot of diverse amount of inventory. So especially with 164s, it's easier to do a mystery box. Um, Oh, the pink window net. Yeah, no, I think the window net will be there. So, as a Truex fan, pain. As a race fan, pain. As a racing fan, tonight was pain. It was so hard to watch. I mean, literally, it was like just sitting there, like, is someone gonna make a pass within? And frankly, the passing kind of started after 80 laps, but that's too long. You can't wait 80 laps. Solid top five. I've got Denny Darlington and AJ's Indy and Bristol on order. I feel like Blaney's Daytona car flies under the radar for how much confetti and rubber. Yeah, um, it does, but I don't know. It doesn't have for me, especially like I think the Kyle Busch or sorry, the Kyle Larson Bristol one's going to have a decent amount of rubber buildup on it. The Chandler Smith truck from Bristol, which I also got coming because I was there, that's got a big old right side donut all over it. Like the whole right side's covered in donut marks. Let's see, who else did we have last year? No, not a lot of early season ones. It's later in the season is where it got better. Yeah, I was trying to think. The Kyle Larson. I want to say that's the Roval wind, which is going to look pretty good with that pink window net too. So there's some good ones, but I just think I like the idea of Chase's Napa car. I like that paint scheme a lot. I really liked his scheme last year, and having the rear tires burned off it is just a nice like cherry on top. Chase should have the point seat, right? I think so, but Blaney had a good points night too, and they were tied coming in. So it's going to be between the two of them. Blaney finished like 5 spots ahead of him, but I think he gained at least 5 points in stage points, so I think he should have the lead. But he got 2 stage points, so I mean, that's something. Ethan Green says, honestly, I've gotten so used to Bubba not having success with good cars at this point, it's become a routine. Either he gets a penalty or gets screwed out of a top 3 in the last few laps. Yeah, no, have a good one, Ethan. I think the thing for Bubba is I want to see him run a lot more Xfinity this year because the guy... Like I think the track time helps because we saw it at Coda. He ran well in the Cup race comparatively, where he had run on road courses previously. I think laps help, but I think he needs a different approach. I think there's an approach missing there because, at the end of the day, he's always kind of had the underdog teams, and when you're in the better equipment, you have to race them different. You have to kind of approach the week differently. So. We'll see. Throughout the year, Kurt Busch is there, so we might see some big improvement that really helps both of them. Glad NASCAR listened to Christopher Bell and moved the race to the night. Better visibility in traffic. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's a night race, just hopefully for the fans too, that the dust isn't so bad. But also when it's at night, the dirt will hold moisture better. The sun really dries clay out like that, so it'll hopefully hold a lot more water. That being said, 40 cars is still too many. Like they only should have about 20 cars on that track, but it is what it is. Here we go. NASCAR fan, remember these drivers are real people and we're not the most important things all the time. They have lives too. Yeah, no, for sure. That's the thing you got to remember is like if they sign something for you, always say thank you because they took time to do something nice for you. They didn't have to, they chose to. Matthew M says, I want to get 2021 Allmendinger win diecast. Which one do you think will look the best? Well, it is his Indy win is really cool because of obviously it was his Cup win. But if you're looking at Xfinity wins, the race detail will probably be best on the Bristol. That being said, it's not as good as it probably could have been. But his Mid-Ohio car has a cool paint scheme, so there's some options in there. It kind of depends on what you're looking for, though. Khalito says, sorry, I was talking about the dirt race. Yeah, I forgot what I said. Got all Larson Elite wins from 2021 on pre-order. Good move. Because I think there's going to be some rare ones in there. I'm excited. I can't wait to see when more of these Larsons start showing up. People forget, though, Kyle Larson didn't win his second race of the year until the Coke 600. So when we think, oh, nobody's dominating this year, it's like nobody dominated last year. It took till the Coke 600 for him to get his second win, and then he went on a tear through the summer. So, Let's see here. Let's see. Go. Oh wait, here. Oh, there we go. Favorite race win of 2021 is Michael McDowell Daytona 500. I'm pretty sure you're the McDowell fan, so I totally get that. Or Daytona 500, always a good one. Unit First says Chase won both stages and Blaney did not get any in stage one. So yeah, he should have gained about 15 points on Blaney, lose about 5 from his finishing position. So about 10-point cushion, I think. And he got 2 sets of stage points, so that's kind of nice. So he's got some good stuff. 164th, I'm too broke to buy a 124th. Nah, it's all right. At some point, they either come down in price, but um, that's why I got a YouTube channel. It allows me to look at a lot more cars without having to keep them all. Let's see. Logano fan 1776 says the number placement has made some amazing paint schemes. Not gonna lie. Um, I don't know. My personal opinion is a lot of these paint schemes, the number could be moved back. It doesn't have to be all the way in the dead center, but it could definitely be slid back, and I think it would really look nice. I mean, those GoPro schemes would have been so much better if the number was more centered, and maybe the paint schemes wouldn't work, but people think the paint schemes look better because of the number being moved forward. No, graphic designers are just doing a good job. And yeah, there's some potential out there, but man, it doesn't look right with that number slid forward personally. There we go. AJ Gaming says it took me forever to get Chase's 2020 Napa scheme. Yeah, that was a tough one. It got really hard to find. Even I had trouble getting that one, and I usually pre-order them. So, but yeah, the 2020 scheme, I think with him going on a tear through the end of the season, kind of hurt that one as far as getting a hold of him. Denny Hamlin, Ultimate Fan, says started switching to buying elites last year after watching your videos. Also have all of Chase's wins from 2020, including the All Star. Awesome. That's a decent set. I will say the Daytona Road Course had like no damage to it. But the playoff cars, the Phoenix car was pretty nice. But I like my big thing with the elites was always the engine detail. Even though it's not the biggest thing, I hated the plastic block. I don't know what it was. I just like when you look under a car like this is an ARC, it's like that looks so cheap and flimsy. And then you look under an Elite, this is obviously a newer Elite or an older Elite, but it looks like a race car underneath, not a piece of plastic. So yeah, that was I think one of my bigger things. Who's Candace 420? Next gen diecast, can't wait to see them. I agree. I'm excited to see because I know that bottom plate with the diffuser comes off, and I think there's a lot of potential under that to see what it does. I mean, maybe not. We'll see, but I'm excited to see how they look. The fact that Adventure Force got Gen 7 cars out before Lionel, sure they're cheap, but wait, what? They're a cheap RC, but still, I didn't know anything about this. Adventure Force Gen 7 car. What are we talking about here? Time to get on the old phone. Let's see what's going on. Adventure Force Gen 7. I've literally never heard of them. Adventure Force Gen 7. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. Logano fan just says true. Let's see. Let me move back up, make sure I didn't miss one. Nope, we're good. Okay. Matthew M. I feel bad for the guys buying all Larson's wins last year. I bought all Harvick's in 2020 and my wallet hurts. Yeah, I've been in that boat before. I mean, luckily, doing all the videos helps because the YouTube gives me just a little bit of revenue, which helps a little bit. But, you got to have the hobby for it too. But I definitely, I like for sure getting the ones I go to in person. I don't know. It gives me that memory that it helps me hold it, I guess. Let's see. Do I think 135 for a 2017 Brad K. Atlanta win autographed ARC is good? Nah. Because I think you can get the Brad Atlanta Elite for close to 120. And I think the Elite's better, especially in 2017. I don't have anything to show you here quick, but in 2017, the roof flaps had a piece of cloth right in the side here that would kind of come up and go back in. And honestly, it was just a really cool detail. And it was like 2017 was one of my favorite years for elites. And I wish I would have gotten a few more of them. Let's see. Matthew M. I have Chase Elliott Charlotte from 2020 and bought the Phoenix car for my mom, who's a big Chase fan. Well, that was nice. Especially if you ever get to see him win in person too. That's a big one. But those are I have gotten, I can't remember how many gifts, but the only person I give diecast as gifts to is my sister, because she has a diecast collection of her own. And as I said, the one I mentioned yesterday was the Noah Switch truck from 2017 because she's a big Noah fan. Dumbo49 says I was sleeping through most of the race, but weren't there like 0 passes for the lead on track? You are correct, sir. Not a single pass for the lead on track. So that was, lackluster. Okay, let's see here. I have all of Elliott's 2020 wins in 164s except Kelly Blue Book Charlotte. Oh, that's right. I know they made it, so you should be able to get a hold of that one. I wish they would have made the metal chassis for 2020 with Chase's wins, but it's unfortunate. Kylito Newt says, "What is my favorite Kyle Busch diecast?" So my favorite is his 2018 Chicagoland win because I was there. But if I had to say my one of my favorite coolest diecast of his, I really like his 2011 Bristol win. His 2015 Homestead is awesome. And his 2018 Coke 600 car is pretty cool. But I mean, I don't know. That 2018 Chicago race was so fantastic. I really like that car for sentimental reasons. NASCAR Final Four says, does the diffuser come on the ARC2? It does, but it is not removable. So it'll be like a plastic base on the bottom of the car, and that's it. On the Elite, you will actually be able to remove the diffuser and see the detail underneath the car. Now, how detailed that is, I'm not sure yet. We'll see when they start coming out. What if they added the diffuser flap to the Elite's next gen? The diffuser. Oh yeah, no, that'd be cool. I would be surprised. I really would. Because it would literally have to hang down, and they would have to find a way to keep it from falling down all the time. Vincent says, I just don't want the numbers in front of the front roof post. Chastain's Advent Health looks great in my opinion. I agree that one, it was moved back far enough. I was okay with it. The problem is when they mash it all the way up against the wheel well, it just doesn't look good. Let's see here. Who's Candace is going to bed? Have a good one. I'm going to be hopping over and watching some Formula One here in just a little bit. So, Universe says, I swear I ordered cars from Pyramid Racing like Chase All-Star. Hasn't been a year and a half and still not there. I would contact them because those are sold out in some places and they're out everywhere. So if you haven't got it yet, you definitely need to check on that. Definitely. Daddy Dollar Bill, should I bite the bullet and spend 115 on Kevin Harvick's Daytona Elite? That's not a bad deal, honestly. It's not. The 07 Elites are really detailed. It's a fair price. It's definitely not like dirt cheap or anything like that. I mean, I got mine for 20, but that was a thrift shop. You can't always get that lucky. So it's like that's a fair deal, especially if you're really looking for one. Been a fan of both Harvick and Larson. Oh, ouch. 10 and 9 wins apiece. That'll hurt you bad. I have most of Harvick's wins from 2020, and yeah. Good Lord, I slept through almost all of this race. Yeah, it was 0 lead changes under green, so hope you had a good one because there was no lead changes under green. All right, let's see here. Are there any good websites or stores that probably sell rare diecasts like the 2016 500 win? There are. So Diecast Depot does sell cars like that, but they're usually really marked up, and that's how it's gonna be. If someone's gonna have a website and they're gonna list, really high dollar cars that are really rare, you're gonna basically have to overpay because otherwise, if they're undervalued, they're just gonna sell right away. So that's just unfortunately how it's going to be. I wish I could tell you there was a place that somebody's got some in the basement. At the end of the day, if you're trying to get one for a good price, watch eBay like a hawk, watch Facebook Marketplace like a hawk, and check out other weird selling apps where people might be selling out a collection or something. And that's your best shot to snag an Elite or one of those other cheaper ones. But that's the types of place you're going to have to go. Let's see. When I went to Toyota, I got my Elliott Championship hat signed. Awesome. It's really hard to get Chase's autograph. We tried last year at Kansas or a couple years ago at Kansas just to get my nephew's sign. He had a sign that was like he was just getting all the cup signatures on it, like a poster board. that he was hanging in his room, and we literally got like run over. It was like people were just mauling, and it was like, yeah, we just backed out of there. It wasn't worth it. Little guy to get trampled. So, yeah, it's nuts. Let's see here. Finn says my favorite Kyle Busch diecast is 2012 Shootout Elite. Such a good race. That paint scheme was a good paint scheme for sure. Um, man, I don't know. The 2011 Bristol car just looks nice. I like it, man. Otherwise, yeah, there's some good Kyle Busch wins. He's done a couple of them really nicely, but I don't know. That Chicagoland win was good. Somehow I got a DIN 1 on the Chase 2019 ARC Robo win. Wow. I mean, if you're not a huge fan of DIN numbers, I've had a couple DIN 1s before, and I have always sold them and then turned around and bought more diecasts because I don't give two rips about the number. I do have a door number. It is Casey Kane's final career win door number, and it's in the color chrome, so it's like I ain't selling that one. But if it's not really a big deal to me for whoever I get this DIN 1, from, I usually move it or sell it for if as long as someone's willing to pay a big markup, or not a big, but like if someone's willing to give you like, well, now that the Roval car is worth like 200, if someone gave you like $700 for that DIN 1, I'd take it, go get an Elite, and then go get 4 other cars alongside. But that's just me. I'm not a huge DIN chaser. Universe says we have, or at least my mom, not the first time it took this long. Yeah, I would definitely, keep on them about that. Or honestly, at this point, cancel your order. Let me know if you want an ARC or an Elite. I think I have one of each left. I think I don't know if my Elite's on the website, but I have an extra Elite. As I've been doing inventory and doing taxes, so I've had to keep my stuff fairly separated, so I make sure I know what's what. But I do have an extra Elite, and I do have an ARC with the light up. So if you're looking for one and they'll let you cancel, I would just cancel it and get it from a reputable dealer like the Race Craze. Yes. But yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. NASCAR Fan 4 says the team should get to choose a number placement. I wholeheartedly agree, because if someone doesn't like the number placement, the team can deal with the backlash. That's just my opinion. Let the team deal with it. Did I ever complete my Casey Kane race win collection? I did. I have all of his Cup race wins. I actually have some extras too, because I have a couple extras ready to make some more customs with. I don't have all the Busch wins yet, or Xfinity, or whatever series we want to say, and I definitely don't have any of the truck wins besides the one that was made, so I got to get all the truck customs. But I do have all the Cup wins. I'm working on getting all the Cup pins. I still need 2014, 2009, 2011, and a couple 2006, I think. Yeah, I think a couple in 2006. Denny Hamlin Ultimate Fan says just got Chase's 2019 Roval win Elite, Kyle's 200th win Elite, and Kyle Larson's Nation's Guard Elite. Wow, those are good. Those are good cars. Especially that Roval win, because that Roval win got expensive, and it's a really good looking race car too. So is Kyle Busch's. Those are both confetti cannon cars, just confetti on them everywhere. I just realized let's see here. I like model says I just realized artware. Hold on. We're the one who replied to my comment a couple months ago in the video I made about the body design finishes look good. I'm confused. You may have to rephrase that. I like models. I'm confused. I'm trying to read it, but I'm a little confused. What did I comment, or did you comment on a video that I made? Maybe it was both. I don't know. Billy Bob says, just got here. What did you miss? Everything. You missed it all. We were ranting a little bit about the cars being too stable and not having enough horsepower, which was what created so little passing in this race. The biggest reason you didn't see anybody ever make a pass on the outside was a car couldn't, like it used to be, the car on the bottom would have a lot of trouble getting the wheels to hook up. They'd have a lot of wheel spin when they're on the bottom, and the top could kind of keep rolling. So if you were that much better, you could just do that. But tonight, there was no wheel spin because there's no horsepower. Let's see here. Just bought a Chase Briscoe autographed Xfinity car. Oh, I don't have my Chase Briscoe car over here. It's over there. I did have his Ford Performance Racing School car autographed from Indy last year, and I will be turning that into a Bristol custom. All right, BK. The race was so bad. What do you need? What do you think the fix is? They seriously need to do something. I fell asleep. No, I've said I think the fix is you need to make the cars unstable. I don't know how that. How do you do it? I do think horsepower is an easy add. I mean, if you add 200 horsepower to these cars, I think it helps a lot right out of the bag. I don't think you even have to change a ton. But yeah, higher the horsepower if you can, and make them unstable. I don't know if you need to narrow up the tires, if you need to, take the diffuser off of it and maybe something else. Whatever it takes, but get these cars a little more unstable, put a little more power under them, and I think you'd be fine. But what you had tonight was just, oh man, it was not great. Orgadaka says, very good advice to watch eBay like a hawk. I snagged Harvick's 2020 Summer Daytona win for 150. Yeah, I mean, that is where I've snagged a lot of good cars off of Facebook. That's actually eBay. That's actually where I got those two Denny Hamlin custom was eBay. I did not get those cars specifically, but somebody had custom race wins. And right when they posted them, I messaged them and said, hey, I really am interested in this. How many race wins do you have? And they said, I have all these race wins from all these years. I'm like, I'm going to hand you a list. Tell me what you want for them because I've been looking for all these cars. And I bought about 10 cars from them. And it was a big purchase. It was 10 cars for, maybe $500, $600, something like that. Maybe more. But I got custom Denny Hamlin wins. I got a custom Joey Logano win. I got Truex's Pocono from 2015. A lot of good cars. So definitely watching like a hawk. We also never got we also never got the Harvick All Star. Was it you? I see what you're saying. The 2018. I think it was 2018. I know what you're saying. So you never got 2018 from Pyramid either. Yeah, I have gotten cars from them in the past when I couldn't find them anywhere else. But now that I am a dealer, I don't have that problem. So, but yeah, I definitely, man, I would just say one, don't deal with them again. But also definitely make sure they have the ability to be contacted. I have email and then Facebook and like Instagram, but I sometimes do take a little longer to get to the email one because sometimes I don't get notified that a new email's in there, but nobody waits more than a week for a response from me. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep pumping myself up, I got good stuff. I think I'll be reinstituting the Race Craze promo code too on the site for free shipping on orders over 100. So any elite car basically. And then if you get a bunch of like small cars, them too. But would you ever have a Harvick Daytona 500 win available? I've been looking for one for a while. Yeah, I mean maybe if I ever buy out a collection, I might have one, but I don't. I don't plan on selling any of my Daytona 500 cars. I've got all of the Daytona 500s in elite, with pins and all that. So I have no intention of that. So it would have to be bought out of a collection. I had a single DIN one. I got in a lot of trash cars, but here we go. I put the plate on my 2014. Oh, I see I see what you're saying. Jamie Mack All-Star chassis swapped elite since they didn't make it in elite, so it's a DIN 1 door number. Hey, you cheated the system, but you made it work. That was a good looking car too. That All-Star car for Jamie Mack. It's too bad they didn't make it in elite. It was a cool looking car. AJ Gaming, I still only have one 124 because my Earnhardt Jr. final ride non-raced version ARC rear tire broke off, but it was my fault because I keep taking the tire off. Yeah, that'll do it. Here's what I will say. The Junior final ride raced version looks really, really good, but I know it's a little more expensive. So, yeah, you can get like a whole lot of cars on eBay. If you get a bundle of them, you can get kind of a bunch because I'm looking at trying to find a bunch of parts cars. I got some cars to fix, and I like having the ability to get some repairs done. Do I have any 2022 cars? Brian, I do not. None of them have come in yet. Denny Hamlin Ultimate Fan says, got most of my recent elites on eBay, live in Australia, and sellers don't always understand the value of the older cars, which I clearly take advantage of as of late. Oh, for sure. Especially when you get some older ones. Man, if you're in Australia and you need to do like pre-orders, let me know because I am not opposed to selling to Australia by any stretch. I would probably have to do it through eBay for the international shipping thing because taxes are awful in America. When they say, how'd you sell overseas? And then you have to fill like a million forms. It's like, no, thank you. But yeah, I have actually sold some sprint cars over. Yeah, so because I know sprint cars are really big over there. Wait, no, sorry, you were referring to someone else. Matt, I'm referring to my chase car, Elliot. Okay, hold on. Now I gotta back up and see. What were you referring to? Chase Elliott. Oh, your chase car for a Harvick win. I see. You'd trade it. I got you. Okay. There we go. All-Star 2020 light up, but still waiting forever. Okay, yeah. I do have I think I have two All-Star light ups. But yeah, I don't know, man. If they haven't shipped it yet, they need to get something done because that's taking way too long. Because I've got that 2020 or that, yeah, it was a 2020 race. So I've got that All-Star light up. Like I did it for a video, so I've still got that one, and I think I've got a second one. So I've still got a couple light up cars. But those are the only two I ever got because I didn't think it was really that popular to get those. Do I think Portland's Xfinity race could possibly bring a Cup race to PNW within the next decade? I'm really curious to see how the Xfinity race plays out this year. No, and my biggest reason for that is because I don't think the facility is a Cup caliber facility. It's the same reason the Cup Series probably shouldn't be going to Gateway. I'm going to be there this June when they're at Gateway, but after looking at the parking and the facility and the area around it, that is not a place ready to host a Cup race. I am very concerned for what the traffic is going to look like and how congested it's going to be. I don't know if they're going to have enough concessions. Like, I am concerned that Gateway is going to be way too overpacked and it's going to be a problem. I hope that's not the case, but I'm just looking ahead and I'm seeing kind of what might be coming down the pike. That being said, with the right adjustments, Iowa could very easily be a Cup caliber venue in a couple of small changes. Like when they hosted their first Xfinity race, they had temporary bleachers, and that would solve Iowa's problem, period. They have a little bit of traffic and some other things, but the racing quality and the track quality isn't the problem. They just need to get literally the facilities on the outside updated a little bit. And, considering they haven't raced there in 2 years in anything, I think when IndyCar goes there, they're going to show what that track can really look like. You need parts cars. I have a ton of Gen 5s. Yeah, hey, man, if you've got parts cars and you're not using them, send them my way. I gladly take them off your hands because I need to get just different cars fixed. I've got a couple Gen 6s, a couple Gen 4s. I've got some Gen 5s. I don't think I have as many Gen 5s, but, it never hurts to be getting those fixed. Really looking forward to getting my hands on Briscoe's Mahindra 20. Are you getting his race win? I hope you're getting the race win, Calito. AJ Gaming. Oh wait, I have Austin Cindric's 2020 Phoenix win and saving for Sheldon Creed's Phoenix win. Are you gonna get the autograph one? Because the Creed Phoenix win is out, but the autograph is still waiting. And then the Larson Phoenix win, all in the 124s. Man, I don't know if you save, either get a donor chassis and swap it, but otherwise, I think I gotta get the Elite on that Larson. It just feels so good to have an Elite in hand. That's just my preference, but that's gonna be a cool set to have all the champions from 2020. Wait a minute, that's 2021. That's not quite right. I'm missing one. Let's see here. There's a diecast shop near where I live. I found an Elliott Gordon 24 Ever car, fell in love with it, and when I saved up the cash, it was gone, but it was a super good deal. Honestly, fantasy cars have never been that big to me. The only fantasy car I really like is the Budweiser Clydesdale car for Kane that he ran in 08. But otherwise, I'm not a huge fan of fantasy cars. Like, they're just, they never raced. Like, they're not that important to me. Do I know when the Larson Cook 600 car will ship? The first race I went to in 10 years. In the next month, probably. Maybe a little after. At this point, it seems like the race wins are coming out 2 to 3 weeks ahead of when they actually raced last year. So, I mean, it's late May. I would see it maybe early May is when I could see that coming out. I appreciate the offer, but I actually already have a dealer that lives in Australia too. Well, that's great, man. Especially when it's already over there, because then you don't have to mess with all the other garbage. So glad he's got that. You can get some cars over there, because that's good for being, hopefully, NASCAR expanding over into Australia at some point. At least just having a race over there once. AJ, I wish the champion hats wouldn't have to wait to ship till May 31st. Wow, the champion hats are waiting till that long? They shouldn't. Hats take like almost no time to get done. Universe says NASCAR should go to my home state, Louisiana. Sure, you might get shot right when you get here, but who cares? Am I right? Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I had an opportunity to go to New Orleans on a school trip my senior year. I did not go. I'm sorry to say this, but my perception of Louisiana as somebody from literally garbage country of the Midwest was I know we're garbage, but I feel like Southern Louisiana is more garbage. I could be wrong, and I will gladly take it back, but I was not willing to go my senior year. So, yeah, and it's nothing against the people or anything. It just I don't know. I guess from what I always heard from people who from up in my region that went down there to help clean up Katrina was they were cleaning up Katrina and people would just sit and watch, like and watch them do cleanup. And it was like, dude, it's your area, clean up, dude. Like you got like a tornado comes through in Iowa, you don't just sit back and watch other people clean up your busted up broken house. You get out there and go clean. It's your house. You got to do something. Why just sit and watch? So I don't know that. I'm not trying to be too mean, but that's just like I don't know. It was weird. That was something that always kind of stuck in my head for some reason. Maybe I'm just too mean. All right, so here we go. I hope. Oh wait, no, here we go. I hope the Phoenix win for Briscoe, but for now, I'm waiting for the 164th. Yeah, that's not a bad move. As long as they do end up making it. Probably not sure yet, but I will get the elite for Larson. Good call. Good call, AJ. So I canceled the order. What the heck is up? Is anyone else having this problem? With what? Which one are you referring to there, Chevy 5? I will have the 2020 Phoenix win set because I have the Elliott. Wait, oh, are you talking about the torch set? Elliott Elite. I know what you mean there. Oh yeah, yeah, because you have the Elliott Elite, so yeah, you will have all three of them. Once you get the Creed one in, should have been a Moffat. That still irks me to this day. Let's see. Finn says I've recently started drilling antenna holes into some of the cars that never made an Elites. That I have an Elite chassis swap. It's shockingly easy to make such a big difference. Yeah, that is really scary. And the only reason I would say it's scary is because even in a car like this, you can see around the hole. Oh, sorry. You can see the hole, the decal flaked a little bit. And that would be my only concern is anytime you're drilling through a hole or drilling a hole like that, is making sure you don't flake the decal. And maybe if you put a piece of tape over first, I don't know. But if as long as you're not flaking the decal, that's a heck of a nice addition. But that would scare the crap out of me that I would flake the decal off. NASCAR Fan 04 says, I thought they released a few Larson Cook 600s already. Yes, they are at the trailer in ARC, but you have to go and get them from the trailer at the racetrack. And that means you have to pay like $20 more than you should. So, silly, I know, but... Thoughts on PTC mold returning for the final Gen 6 wave of NASCAR Scenics? Barf. Ugh. Barf. I hate the PTC mold. But luckily, all those cars are going to get made in the metal chassis. I think all of them are getting made in metal chassis. So it doesn't really bug me that much. I don't know. Maybe I got to look if that Chase Elliott Atlanta Children's Hospital car is getting made. But the metal chassis really turned out nice. I'm pretty happy with them. Sweet Home Alabama 75. That was the order I canceled. Which order did I miss? Did I miss it again? Oh, okay. Wait. Which order did you cancel? It didn't say. Gosh darn it. Let me know. I'm trying to remember see what you canceled there, Chevy 5. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like Jacob Allen won tonight. Good for him. Well, it's an off. Let's see. Well, it's awful because the hood is awful. Like we have most people. Oh, I see. We're still ragging on Louisiana. Man, that sucks. I'm sorry. I hate it when a state goes to crap like that. We don't talk about 2020 Phoenix truck finale. Still mad at Moffat got screwed. Dude, he got hosed. His crew chief made a bad call. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, he literally was running away with a championship, and a car just decided to wreck himself. Like, come on, man. It's the same thing that honestly happened to Cindric last year, but being as he won before, people don't really talk as much about it. But man, you can't have a one race championship. It's stupid. Like, thank goodness we haven't had it in Cup yet. But what happens in the Cup Series when we have a green white checker and two guys take each other out? Like, it's the whole championship in one race. It's so dumb. It's such a bad way to crown a champion. Unifirst again, and there's a person who has a robot monkey who tries to talk to little kids here. He's called the Monkey Man because of his robot monkey. Dude, what is going on down there? Louisiana, You're drunk. Go home. Jeez. 2 of the Authentics are exclusive. Which 2 of those? I have to see. It's risky, but if you take the chassis off, then there are holes where the antennas should be in the ARCs. Oh, you know what? I never even thought of that. You look underneath. I'm guessing there probably are. There's holes under there, or at least there's little like spots where they're probably supposed to be drilled. Oops. Oh, that's a jack. That's right. All right. Let's see here. Still need to grab metal chassis 164th. Haven't gotten one yet. Get your favorite driver for sure. Oh man, there's some really good metal chassis that came out just recently, but I'm still waiting on the A-Shock car. I'm surprised the Elliott A-Shock metal hasn't come out yet. I'm excited for that one. Will Harvest 2021 Subway Scheme ship around May 2? I think it might be May or a little bit later because it didn't even run till Bristol last year. So, being as it ran so late in the year, it might take a little bit. Finn says, I do put tape over first. Definitely the scariest part of it. Worse is that sometimes the decal flakes just putting the antenna in normally. Yeah. I can't even tell you how scared I was putting the antenna in my Elliott Homestead. I mean, I paid $500 for an Elite, for the most expensive car I've ever bought. And then I'm looking at putting this Elite antenna in. I'm just like, I'm sitting there almost shaking, like, please don't wreck my decal. NASCAR fan says, oh wait, here we go. Is the Elliott Coda win out yet? I haven't seen anything, but you're the best one to ask. I hear they are a week or 2 out yet. So I did get a notification they were ready to ship, but then I got a notification that shipment was delayed 2 weeks. So it should be 1 or 2 weeks, and we'll see the Coda wins. NASCAR fan is it's annoying when we get a special scheme before primary schemes. Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge fan of getting the primary schemes out, and if you can, get them out before the Daytona 500. But I don't know. Lionel's gonna have to do something to change that soon. Literally every other motorsport in the world uses season-long points format. Every single one. Every single one. That's all you need to say. Every single one. And that's all you need to say. Yeah, the places where the antennas are intended to mold, I always go from underneath. That's a good call, too, because if you're going from underneath, you have a less chance. Oh, man, I'm telling you, that decal, drilling through a decal is scary. That is a scary proposition. I don't think I could do it. Opinion. What is the rarest Cup win Elite from 2021? I think AJ Allmendinger's car has a chance to be harder to find, but I also think there's going to be a car that sneaks up on people and is more rare than people think. I think the Kyle Larson Bristol win is going to be one that's going to be rare too. I don't know why. I just think the Bristol wins always seem to do that, even when a guy wins a bunch of races, but that one has like the best raced detail. It's in the Valvoline paint scheme, which is kind of a more rare paint scheme. Maybe the McDowell car, maybe the Coke 600. It's really hard to say which one it'll be. It's literally a crapshoot. But sometimes you can predict based on like a trend, and Grail races always seem to do well. So Coke 600 does well. Those cars seem to almost always go up in value. Same with the Daytona 500. So I would say those 2 are on the list. And then just random one-off cars that kind of get a weird win. Those can sometimes be the same way, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes like Cole Custer's car is still not highly valued. So I don't know. It's tough to say. I would say if I was a betting man, I would take the Coke 600, the Daytona 500. I need more water. Oh man. All right. I'm going to skip that one there for you, Universe, because Louisiana sounds like trash. F1's finally on. Is it really already on? Oh, pre-race maybe. Oh, it's almost midnight. I need to go watch that. Holy crap, here we go. Later, guys, have fun watching the F1. I'm going to go watch it right now. Let me try to get to the last few chats here quick. Metal Chassis 21, Elliott win. Good call, AJ. I'll have both of them. F1 finally on. Yep, I'd say go Verstappen. I like Verstappen, but I also like Leclerc. He's pretty cool, too. Birthdays in 3 minutes. Oh, well, happy birthday then. In 3 minutes. Have a happy birthday in 3 minutes. Hopefully you can enjoy watching some F1. It'll be a good race, I think. So happy birthday to you. And happy Sunday to the rest of you guys. I'm gonna go watch some F1. I hope you guys have a I hope you guys have a good night. Let's see. No stream tomorrow. There won't be a stream tomorrow. There might be a video, but thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys had a good one. We'll look forward to Dirt Bristle next week. See y'all in the next one, and stay tuned for tomorrow's Diecast review.